And we start tonight with local breaking news. We now know one of the 5 victims shot on the campus of Virginia State University is a student. At this hour, police are still searching for the suspects in this mass shooting. Taylor Bryan is just back from Ettrick with more on the investigation. And Taylor, what else are police in the university sharing tonight?
Well, the student we just mentioned is okay and is now out of the hospital. We know one person is in critical condition, but we do not know the status of the other 3 victims. As I was on campus earlier today, I talked to several students who told me activities were canceled for the day. We do know VSU is stepping up security on campus, and in just a few hours, an 11 o'clock curfew will begin.
At Virginia State University, students are on the cusp of a new fall semester. Students even moving in on Saturday. A new year for the upperclassmen, and for the freshmen, a new chapter is starting. Students have only been on campus for about a week, and then this happens.
Well, I didn't hear about it. I heard it from out the window. We was watching a movie around this time, too. So we stopped. Ain't nobody know what's going on, but I knew it was gunshots.
A mass shooting around 1:30 Saturday morning close to the quad annexes near Boisseau St and 3rd Avenue. 5 people were shot, with 1 in critical condition. VSU confirming 1 victim does go to the university. That student was released from the hospital. The campus was on lockdown for several hours, and it was lifted around 8:30 Saturday morning. Todd Macon, an incoming freshman, says everything was fine until the violence.
We out there window looking. There's people scattering, running around and stuff, people talking about it. But I don't know. I wasn't expecting no shooting to happen.
Good evening, fam. This is a special report regarding the recent incident next door at Virginia State University. Very unfortunate situation. As you can tell from the news, 5 people, were shot at the college campus on, I believe it was Saturday night or early Saturday morning, according to the news. And the craziest part about this whole thing is that the guy that did it was a young black boy. He's 19 years old, and he was not a student. It was confirmed by the news. He was just some regular punk kid who actually had a switch. A switch is a fully automatic pistol, highly illegal in the United States, and shot off more than 100 rounds inside of a dormitory. All I can do is shake my head at this point, because I don't understand what it takes for that campus to be more secure. And I'm gonna give you a prime example. I was actually there, by the way. Wasn't there when it happened, but I happened to see the aftermath of it, yes. I was doing my little side hustle, as you could tell, Uber, and you know how I do. And I picked up a lot of, college kids over the weekend, going to the clubs over here in Richmond, because ain't nothing next door in Petersburg. That's where the college is located. But that last ride I took back, we saw a whole bunch of cops on the campus. I said, what's going on? And the girl that was in my back seat, she actually got a phone call from one of her friends, and they were telling her, don't come on campus. There was a shootout that happened. And it was like, man, they just stay shooting at VSU. This ain't nothing new. They said it been violent. They just don't be putting that shit on the news. I said, what? She said, girl, yeah, they don't be putting half the shit on the news. And I think the only reason this story made it to the news is because 5 people who were not, again, college students were shot on campus. And only one of them was confirmed a college student out of the 5 is in critical condition. Was in critical condition, but they were later released according to the news. Correction. But yeah, they need to really tighten up their security measures. And I could tell that they're slacking because they don't be checking IDs. And the only reason I know this is because as I went on and off that campus, back and forth, picking up different groups of college kids, The security guard so damn lazy, he never asked me to see my ID. He didn't ask me where I was going. I just said, hello, I'm an Uber driver picking up my client. Okay, go ahead. He just let me go home. Just no type of awareness whatsoever. And I'm just like, what's happening? You know, VSU is a very prominent Black college, HBCU, and it's just like, it seems like it's getting worse. It doesn't seem safe. And I understand violence happens everywhere, not just Black colleges. You know, the PWIs get it too, predominantly white institutions. But I'm starting to notice a pattern here. I don't know if you guys noticed, but I'm starting to see more and more of the YN activities on Black colleges. Why? I don't know. But I feel like it's a lack of concern, huge lack of concern for students, because if their campus actually cared, they would do a way better job of checking people before they let them on. And to be honest, the Amazon warehouses are safer than VSU. I ain't trying to be funny, but Amazon, you can't even get on that sucker unless you got a key card and you're an Amazon worker, or the nice security Amazon people let you on campus. It just depends what site, because not all Amazon sites are the same. Some of them you can actually roll up on campus. You just can't get through the door, of course, because you have to have key cards through the doors. But man, I'm just like, if it ain't one thing, it's another. You know, I looked at multiple TikTok videos just to see if anybody had any insider information about this punk kid that did this incident. Nobody had any information. Majority of those students said they didn't know who he was. They said everything was fine. They were having a good time partying, because you know how college kids are. They party in the dorms. And then all of a sudden, some idiot ran through the hallways, shooting up the hallways with a switch. I don't know if there was something that broke out, like a fight or something, but ain't nobody saying nothing. And whoever decided it was a good idea to hide him from the cops when the cops came, they should be in trouble too, because you just literally aided and abetted a criminal that came on campus and committed a crime. He was hiding in somebody's room, or not room, closet, excuse me. He was hiding in someone's dorm closet for 14 hours after he shot up that campus. And this is why I tell people, be extremely careful who you deal with. Be extremely cautious where you go. This is why I always keep my head on a swivel. I don't go places where I know something may pop off. Example A, VSU, where I know there are a lot of irresponsible young adults who are surely but slowly trying to figure out what they want to do with their lives, and all they do is party and cause chaos. That's all they do. They party and cause chaos. The level of maturity that I'm starting to notice is amounting to zero. There is no level of maturity when it comes to college life. If you think about the lifestyle, you know, these kids don't want to learn. I'm gonna be honest, half of them really don't want to learn. They just go out of their way to see what they can get into, see what's cool, see what's trending, and I don't know, just cause trouble. Now, I'm not saying that all of them are like this, but I feel like, in my opinion, 99.9% of the time, people send their kids off to college, especially the black colleges. Don't come for me. Half of them don't even make it through the semester. They drop out. And then they waste mommy and daddy's time and money. That's the worst part. Now, some of them I've actually spoke to when I picked them up on Uber, when I asked them what they were going to college for, what they were trying to achieve in life and do whatever. A lot of them said what they really wanted in life. They were very determined, especially some of the females I picked up. Some of the younger girls that I picked up, they were like, oh, one says she's going to college for business. I don't know what she wants to do with herself. The other one says she was going to college for, what did she say? Radiology. She said she wanted to become some kind of a doctor or something like that. Or a technician, something with x-rays. The other one says she was studying psychology. She wanted to become a therapist or do counseling. You know, some of them know what they want to do. But then you got the other ones, the YN bang-bangs, who think everybody's a gangster, and they think it's fun to create this lifestyle and this narrative that college is a joke and people don't take life seriously. And this is what happens when you do not take life seriously. This is why I tell people, do your research, especially on where the college is located. And the only reason I say do your research is because if you don't know nothing about Petersburg, Virginia, best believe you're going to find out real fast. Petersburg is one of them places where I don't even recommend living in because of the crime. The crime is out of control to the point where even the gas stations get shot up down there. The Wawa station got shot up one time. When I first moved out here a year ago, and I was dropping somebody off in Petersburg, first time Ubering around the city, you know, trying to learn, you know, the ins and outs of the neighborhoods, where to go and where not to go. Well, I learned real fast. One of those places not to go is Petersburg. Child, I picked up this lady and I took her to her apartment in Petersburg next door. And we was at the red light and I seen the Wawa. The Wawa, you know, is a very popular gas station chain across the East Coast. And I seen all these police cars and yellow tape everywhere. And I'm like, what's going on over here? And I'm thinking it's a car accident. I didn't think nothing of it. But then, come to find out, when I stopped for gas and I went inside the Wawa, after I dropped off that lady, I asked them, what's going on across the street? Oh, there was a shootout. They killed some 17-year-old kid. Excuse me? Yeah, this is normal. This ain't nothing new. Petersburg been like this for years. Come again? Yeah, this is nothing to be surprised about. I was just like, wow. So if the Wawa people tell you that this is a normal thing for that city alone, for the gas station to get shot up on top of the college campus, that should tell you something. And then another thing, what people don't understand, here's a telltale sign of how you know that the town is shitty. If you see that it has a military base in that town, I ain't trying to throw no shade on Petersburg, but it's damn near Petersburg. You might as well say it's Petersburg. Technically Colonial Heights. Anyway, there's a army base down there called Fort Lee, Virginia. And Fort Lee is the hood. And ain't nothing over there. And it's the same thing. But yeah, there's a telltale sign of when you know you're in a bad city with horrible, horrible crime, like very violent crime. Military bases are normally nearby. Yeah, majority of them that are army bases, horrible, horrible. Even Fort Hood, Texas, Killeen, Texas, I wouldn't dare recommend nobody to stay down there. I even used to live there a long time ago, back in like 2016, 17 time frame. And I'll never forget my very first time I got my apartment. It was like $575 a month, real cheap. Didn't live too far from the base. The base was right there in my neighborhood. I was off of Rancier. I think I was on Rancier Avenue or something like that. Anyway, didn't realize it was in the middle of the hood. It was technically a war zone in my own backyard. The first night I moved in that raggedy ass neighborhood, gunshots went off. Whole drive-by just shot up the neighborhood like it was nothing. And the base was right there. So this is what I'm telling you. You have to be aware of your surroundings. You got to do your research on some of these cities around the world, especially when it comes to like predominantly blacker cities. You know, no shade, but some of my people, y'all are dangerous. Y'all are dangerous. I'm gonna be honest, y'all are dangerous. And I'm to the point where now you can't even trust the neighborhood. You can't trust the community. For what? Why am I going to put my trust in a community that's going to turn around and do something 10 times worse than to me or my family or my neighborhood? You know? And at one point in my life, I had hope for the community. I really did. I had hope for the Black community. But now I feel like there's no hope. I have no hope for none of them. I don't. Because now I'm just like, what do you say to this? You know, how are we going to solve the problem? How are we going to solve the issue if nobody steps up? How? I don't understand. I don't get it. I just don't. But yeah, y'all let me know y'all's thoughts in the comments below. And just like I said, beware. Beware.